I feel like the first go-to when you're feeling like this is workout, exercise, and I'm just like, I don't want to exercise out of hate. Lately we've been feeling kind of out of place. Is that a good word?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Especially on YouTube. We've been kind of struggling with like taking up space as what I think we would call ourselves as like normal people.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. But I guess we should define what we mean by normal in this video, so or podcast/podcast.
I don't know.
So what we mean by normal is basically like, when you go through like social medias, there's a certain person that's portrayed usually, like conventionally pretty people. Like, when people talk of pretty privilege and how some people just blow up on certain platforms just because they are perceived as pretty, or they're moneyed so they can work on the outfits and do all these things to be perceived as either pretty or very well off. And people can watch them travel and do all these things, And it's always like you have to be doing something extraordinary. Like it has to be perfect. But it mustn't look like it's curated that way. You must look like, you're just naturally perfect all the time. And there's this pressure, like, I know we're not the only ones feeling this way, because we actually watched another YouTube video where someone was talking about how she feels like, she doesn't feel like a black person because people have a certain portrayal of black people because of social media. It's like, you must be curvaceous,
Yeah, I struggle with that a lot in terms of being a black woman, how my body is perceived.
Yeah.
If you don't know, my Instagram name is Nefertiti's.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have to cut that out. But I guess it's weird because I seem proud of, who I am, and that's the person I'm trying to portray, all body positive and shit. And I guess I am, for the most part, I am very body positive, especially when it comes to my area.
Chest.
There we go. Especially when it comes to my chest. But sometimes, most of the times, I just feel really weird being a black woman with big boobs but very little ass. Like, there's ass, it's there, it's nice, I like it,
I love it,
but it's not like, the usual shape is a Coke bottle. You have to be like very small at the top and then big waist. But because I'm so big at the top, you don't even see what's underneath. So it's very difficult.
We barely see your stomach.
You never see my stomach. You can never, like, I have to lift myself up, so it's very difficult because this is usually what's like known as like the white aesthetic, like in terms of like boobs are like what white guys like, or, the fact that we even have to like think of our bodies and the way men
will
perceive them or how attractive they'll find them. That's also something I'm still kind of working through. But it's very hard being a black woman when you ain't got no titty, when you ain't got no perceivable, when you're just not a Coke bottle shape, that pure shape. It's so hard. And also when you are not really wearing like really nice clothes. Like, I love Instagram, I think black women are so beautiful. I love it, but it's so hard sometimes, and it's not their fault. Like, best believe I'm not blaming anyone for anything. I'm just saying, it's so hard when you are on the other side of that spectrum where you don't really wear like weaves, not because they're bad or anything, but just because you just don't, or wigs, or you don't have nice wigs or weaves. So it's kind of hard, when you're trying to show up on social media, on YouTube, on anywhere as just yourself like that. So yeah, I get that. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with this, but yes, I was just agreeing with you, the fact that it's just very difficult being.
Yeah, it is, especially when this whole trend of like with like, I think with the whole black is beautiful pressure as well. You feel like you have to be extra black melanin in order to be noticed. And then there's this thing of like people fighting each other over things like colorism and your hair is not this texture and that, and we're constantly, it's like you just have to meet this rubric, in order to feel comfortable to take our space, in order to be approved. People can be like, oh yes, we like you, we're gonna give you the attention you deserve because you were born this way. Genetically you look like this and this appeases us, so we're gonna give you more attention. But when you see people that are normal and just existing, you're less likely to follow or like or subscribe or anything. Are we the problem? Are we the problem?
I mean, I think it is an insecurity thing like that we have with ourselves, but also it is a societal thing as well, because these people don't just become so successful on their own. We have to be the ones pushing them there.
Exactly.
But I will say that there are ordinary looking YouTubers or people that are, you know, out there that I do follow and I like and I've subscribed to, because they deliver something else besides their beauty. Maybe I don't know. Not that they're ugly or anything. It's just that they can be successful. It's not like it's impossible.
True.
You know, to take up space. But I guess we just had a difficult time doing it because we didn't really have like a special gift or, you know, content that was like amazing. Because if you have watched our videos, we're like in the LGBT relationship
like
sector.
Relationship.
You
That's
know,
how you
category
kind of put us,
you would put us.
Right.
But if you look at that category and you see like the people who are like really popping at the top, it's mostly couples that are, you know, doing a lot of like pranks and
vlogging
a lot of vlogging.
And we were having a hard time to be like, so what are we doing?
Yeah, it was difficult. I think when we started, we just thought you know, you guys, if you ever have actually seen our first YouTube video, I hope no one has ever seen it, but you all think that it's the one where we were talking about how we met, but actually it was a video about sheep and black hair.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, I had to delete that one after a week or two. I was like, this is a horrible video.
No one saw it. It had 0 views.
No, it had a few.
What? That's horrible.
People saw that.
I hope none of you are here. Do you think someone has saved it?
I hope not. But yeah, it's been very hard because we're not very, like, we're very touchy, like, but we're not very PDA touchy. Yeah. Like when we're together, we're always on top of each other. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. Yeah. But when you come in front of a video and you're trying to be affectionate, because that's what pulls in the views. Like, true. That's like literally
lesbians kissing.
It's
a lot of views.
That's kind of the pressure that we're under. You know, we have to perform, not necessarily perform, but it feels like we have to come on screen and show you like the nasty, which it's very difficult to do when we're not those people. Yeah.
Well, we're not, like, even with the pranks and stuff, we're not those people again. We don't even consume that content, so we can't even imagine ourselves creating it. You know, because it would just be so uncomfortable. I'm not comfortable doing that. Yeah. To you especially. You know, so it was really hard when we were making the channel to be like, okay, so what are we doing? You know, what do we say? And we're like, we can just talk and help people and have, like, you know, informative conversations.
Yeah, because we talk a lot. I think that's the one thing we do.
Yeah, that's like the basis of our relationship is our conversations. We talk so much. I just want to know what's going on in your head, and you just want to know what's going on in my head, and then we read papers about it, and then we come back and we talk again. And we're like, we can do that on screen, right? But then even that was difficult because it was like, we're not academics. You know, like, we don't have doctorates in these things we're talking about. So what gives us the right to come here and tell you guys, like, you know, this is what, you know? And it's weird because when you look through social media, people so comfortably give their opinion all the time, you know, regardless of that's right. They don't even check. People don't even check. They're just like, this is what I think, this is what I believe. And it's just a thing of like, other people are so comfortable just sharing their thoughts and opinions, just freestyle, right? And for us, it's like we have to deep dive into research, like, did we just make this up? Can we say this on
I think camera? Is a good thing. I mean,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
I'm just saying, you know, you don't want to mislead people. I don't want to ever lie to people and tell them like, this is what's happening, this is what I think. But, you know, our words have power. Yeah, where we don't have a big, you know, platform, we don't have a big audience, but the people that we are talking to, we should feel some sort of responsibility when we're talking to them. Like, you don't want to lie to people and be like, you know, this is what makes you lose weight in 10 days, or, you know, your hair will grow if you do this. You don't want to do that, because I guess there's some social responsibility that you must sort of kind of feel or have as a creator, as a content creator, you know, of some sort.
Of some sort. Yeah, so we've put that pressure on ourselves. There are other channels that don't care, but we do. And it becomes really hard to produce content at a reasonable pace when we feel like we really have to deep dive into the topics we want to talk about.
And also kind of like manage your other life, like other aspects of your life. Yeah. Like it's very hard. But yeah, you know, it's been tough kind of realizing that we're not extraordinary in any sense. We're not we're normal people. Yeah. It's like hard. Like I want to be an Instagram thought. Like, best believe I want to. Those are my aspirations. But I guess, you know, I'm not made that way. And that also kind of ties in with, like, you know, how I feel about my body. Like, a lot of things have been happening in my life recently. Like, you know, I've moved and, you know, I lost my mother, and I'm kind of taking care of a 6-year-old also on the side, and it's a lot. And I guess my body right now is not having a good time. And that comes with, like, a lot of pressure to look a certain way and kind of forget that, oh, actually, you know, you're going through things. So, okay.
It's okay.
But now there's also that unnecessary pressure that you're getting, that I'm getting anyways, to put on my body to be like, oh, you need to be losing this much weight, you need to look like this. Because if you've watched like all of our videos, you'll see like this slight decrease in my cheeks. They've become fuller, and my tits. But you know, I felt so iffy about my body for like a while now, and it's like, it's okay. You're not going to be an Instagram thought. I mean, I can be, but I guess I want to be a conventional one, which is an issue on its own, because Instagram and bodies is another topic. I'm feeling so emotional right now. I can't even, because I just looked myself in the mirror and I was like, what is happening to my body? And I just feel like an outsider in my body. So it's hard to exist right now. Like, I don't know. It's just, it feels weird, because I feel like the first go-to when you're feeling like this is workout, exercise. And I'm just like, I don't want to exercise out of hate.
Yeah.
I don't want to do things out of hatred.
Yeah.
I don't want to do things out of sadness.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, because it's just, it's not sustainable, I guess. So just finding ways to love your body.
Love yourself.
Because I don't know what I was reading. I was reading a review of a book about this man who is an actor, and he's very like famous. He's beautiful. He's gorgeous. He's so hot. And in his book, he was like, I didn't feel that way. I would, like, every time, you know, he has to show up on TV and take off his shirt and show off his body, he just felt so icky about it. And it goes to show that, yeah, I'm not saying, you know, other people's misery should be, you know, comforting to me, because I feel like that's what we say a lot of the times. We expect other people's misery to make us feel better about our own. But I'm just saying, I guess I can relate that, you know, it's a mental thing.
Yeah. Because
you could look at me and be like, oh, she's so hot or something, but either way, it doesn't matter what you think, what you see. That's the whole point, you know. I keep basing it on other people's expectations of what my body should look like,
and it's never enough.
It's never enough. It won't be enough. You know, even when I was like, when we look back at pictures of myself when I was 10, 12, 13, I remember I looked so small.
You were small.
3 years ago, I looked so small. But let me tell you, at the time, I felt so big. I felt so big. I remember there was this time in high school, we had this whole frenzy of just trying to lose weight. We had no business trying to lose weight. We had no business. We would, you know, have these workouts and stuff and go to the gym. And it was not about health. Or, you know, it wasn't about exercising and being healthy. We went there for the sole purpose of trying to look thin, be skinny, you know. And that was a very hard time. And I guess, you know, I haven't like healed from it. And now that my body is changing so much, it's so hard to keep up. Yeah, and it's doing what it needs to do to cope with, the current circumstances I'm under. But I just feel so resentful and so angry at it because I'm like, why are you not doing the things that, should be done by society that is expecting? I don't know if that's English. So, yeah.
I mean, it's funny because at some point you were like, I don't even want to be this small.
I don't.
You don't even want to be like skinny or really tiny. She really has days where she's like in love with her body and she can't stop looking at herself, and then other days it's just off.
It's just horrible.
And I guess that's okay too. You can't expect to be the same person day in and day out. That's giving yourself time to be like, okay, we're having a hard time today. And that's okay. I don't have to force myself like, oh, now I have to work out because now I've noticed that I don't look the way I want to look. So now I have to fix it. It's not even a physical thing. It really is.
It's a mental.
All in your head. And until you take care of that inner, person, the outer person will just, nothing will be
You'll
enough.
just keep chasing this dream of something you're not even, I don't even know if you're able to become.
Or you even really want.
Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you really want this?
True. I get that. Yeah. I guess for me, I've always had a hard time with my body. And the only time even then I didn't have a healthy relationship with my body when I was gymming. Gym is such a dark time for me. I was a gym rat. I think what hurt me when I was gymming was how I could do a lot of the things these big guys could do, but I didn't look like them. Right? Like, that hurt me. Looking back now, I'm like, do I really want to be walking around like this? Like, do I want that hump? And I can't even scratch my back. Like, do I want that?
They really can't reach
You
the back.
They can't do that. And I really don't. I really don't want to look like that. But I was so angry that, I can't do these things and people aren't taking me seriously as a gym person because I don't look like this. Like, it didn't matter that I knew I could do these things. It didn't even matter that other people knew I could do these things because I got that respect in gym. Like, I would go to a bench and people would be like, oh, she's there, respect, and they would move away. No one bothered me because they knew I was capable of, being a heavy lifter. But because I didn't look like it, I just felt like, oh, I'm lacking. They're not respecting me. They're all making fun of me. And it really is just, the mind is a scary place sometimes. It is. I mean, we're all becoming sort of aware of these things, of these unnecessary pressures that we're putting on ourselves and each other. But it's still so hard to undo that habit. It's so hard to not be like, oh, like, I think for me, I'm very insecure about, like, my teeth. Right? I'm very insecure about it because I went to schools where there were a lot of, like, well-off kids. Their parents had money. So a lot of them got braces when they were younger, so their teeth were, like, immaculate. Or people just genetically were born with, like, nice teeth. Right? So when I would try to just smile in pictures, whatever, I always felt so, like, ugly. I felt hideous all the time. So for years, I didn't smile. For years, I did not. I think I only started smiling and, like, laughing when I met you. I think my face kind of relaxed because you're so ridiculous. I can't keep it in.
I'm a joke, guys.
Yeah, you're a joke.
I'm a joke.
I can't keep it in, and I just smile, and I just, and you're like, oh, my smile is pretty, and I felt special. So now I smile in front of you. Even when you take pictures of me, I actually kind of smile. It was really hard.
I have to tell her knock jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, my favorite one is knock.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on. Knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Move. Every time.
It kills me.
It's been months of the same. And I know it's coming. I know the same joke is coming, but I just always end up smiling, And I guess I'm still becoming accustomed to my face when it's smiling and it's happy because I feel like, it doesn't look pretty. So I guess we're gonna focus on making peace with our mind and taking up space with our bodies.
Yeah, mediocrity is okay, guys. I think it's okay to just be plain and not colorful. Although it can be colorful as well, even if you're not to people's taste.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve that we're all going through as well.
Thank you for watching, those who did. If you watched till the end, just comment down below that I'm going to take up space so we don't feel weird. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.